Thomas Jefferson and his fellows to wean yourselves from those narrow prejudices which you have imbibed with respect to African Americans. All right, so that ends that. But what I believe is that as an educator, it is imperative that all of our youth know about exemplars such as Benjamin Banneker that were able to call out racist figures like Thomas Jefferson. I also claim that in order to truly and effectively address issues such as the school-to-prison pipeline and try to disrupt them, we have to properly educate our youth about the society they live in and its history, so that it will make sense as to why are we in this condition in the first place? Like, why are we here? Why are things like this? Well, this is in the DNA of the society. This is not coincidental or accidental. This was laid out by the founding fathers, by the forefathers. This is what their thoughts were. This is what they wrote down. This is what they said. This is what they believed. This is what they celebrated. So these things can make sense. All right. This needs to be done both early and often, both in formal and informal settings. Whether there's a structured program, whether there's an after-school program, whether it's in a school, whether you just encounter a young brother or a young sister on the corner or in the corner store or walking down the block, you know, riding on the train, riding on the bus, whenever it's possible, if you have the information yourself. A question that we can say when we think about these figures such as Thomas Jefferson and think about the DNA of America, how can black lives actually matter in this country if one of the nation's most revered forefathers, who has hundreds of schools and streets named for him, is featured on the $2 bill and the 5-cent nickel piece, and other major landmarks, including this building, this hospital, held opinions such as this of our people? This type of thing cannot be glossed over. It is a contradiction that we must be honest about. And this is key to, I believe, maintaining our youth's interest in education in the first place. We have to address these contradictions because it is when we are dishonest to the youth about these types of contradictions that they lose interest in formal education and begin to reject it, because we as adults and teachers and administrators are essentially not keeping it real. So, everything mentioned in the video about the school-to-prison pipeline that I saw is no anomaly. It's not a statistical outlier. It's part and parcel of this country. So I'm not gonna just be an alarmist and just spend time up here only exposing the problem further, because we do a good job of that. We have to expose the problem. We approach things scientifically. We have to diagnose problems. We have to expose problems. But at the same time, we have to offer some solutions. So, the solution I offer, or what is the solution, in my opinion? In the words of the late Malcolm X, black national, that mentioned in his 1964 Battle of the Bullet speech, black nationalism is the key. What is black nationalism? Black nationalism is when black people have political, economic, and social control of their communities and all of their life-sustaining institutions, schools especially. One of these institutions, which I believe to be the most important, as I mentioned, is the school. Imagine a community like Chinatown, except we imagine black people in the place of the Chinese people, where every storefront and institution is owned